Hi folks, CodeTutor here and my name is Anil Deshpande. Hi folks, welcome to another video on Android CICD series, and this is the first time when we will actually start working with the CICD pipeline using GitHub Actions. So let me give you a little bit of a context. Typically, when you get started with Android application development and you want to utilize some of the secrets like API secrets or signing keys, or for that matter, any SDK secrets, where do you store them? To get started, you might actually store them in a Gradle.kts file. Let me demonstrate through a real demo. This is a simple application. Right now, it doesn't have much, but what we will do is we will enable the BuildConfig and then store some kind of API key in this particular application, that is in the build.gradle.kts file, and then we will try to access it and render it in the application here. So let me come down here, build config equals to true. That is the first thing to get started, and then let me open the main activity. Let me write a simple composable function called as secret status screen. It basically displays whether the secret has been properly configured or not. That's what it basically does. And let us render this secret status screen as a part of this scaffold. So let me just remove this, and when I run this, it basically shows that no secret is configured. So what we will do is we will configure a secret. Let me once again go back to the build config file. In the default config, we will create build config field with type string demo API key, and we are going to hard code this particular key. Okay. Now let me go back to the main API key here, main activity, and let me replace this with demo API key. Let me sync now and let me run this, and you can see that I am now able to see the hard-coded key. But you should not do this, because if you do this and if you commit this particular code to the Git, then this particular secret key will become permanently part of your Git commit history. And if your Git repository gets compromised by any chance, then this particular key gets exposed and anybody will be able to access this particular key, and you will have to rotate the key. That is not a very good idea. The better idea is actually to move this particular demo API key from the hard-coded KTS file to another file, a kind of a properties file. I have created a local.properties file here, and here I have the same key, that is demo API key, and I can actually load that particular demo API key into the application from the local.properties. So once again we will come back here. Let's not do the hard coding. Instead we will write a simple function which will load the value from the local.properties. So we will write simple script which loads the value from the local.properties and then sets up the demo API key from the local properties .get property demo API key. And if it is not there, then we will throw a error. It is important that you throw a error because it would be good to fail early rather than coming to know about it during the runtime. Let me first set this up in the default config. This demo key is actually the demo key that we have loaded from the local properties, and now if I sync this and run it, it loads it from the local.properties file. But let's assume that I comment it out. Then if I run this, because I am throwing this particular error during the build time itself, I am getting this error. So let me bring this back and run this. Yeah, now the build is working fine. But there is still a problem, which is I am able to see the actual complete key here. So I can slightly modify this. Let me create another function here which is called as mask key, which basically masks the key with asterisks, and then I will replace this with a little bit more refined code. So I will come back here. Inside this I will load the API key and I will check whether it is configured or not, and then I will use this is configured here. If is configured, then I will show secret is configured, and then I will mask that particular API key, else I will show the earlier old message. So let me run this. As you can see here, now secret is configured, and I can see that the key is being rendered with asterisk. And now if I remove this and then run this, then it will immediately fail at the build time itself with a clear message. One thing that you have to ensure is that this particular local.properties file is locally configured on the machine from whom you will be doing the releases, be it QA releases or the production releases. And you have to ensure that in the git ignore file, that local properties file is entered, because you don't want this to be part of the git commit history. If you are doing a individual project, then this is something fine, you can do this. But if you are working in a team environment where multiple people are working, and if somebody who has these secrets on his machine or her machine goes on a leave, then you basically can't stop the release. You have to still be able to do the compilations, builds, and releases. So this approach is okay if you are the only developer, but if you are dealing with a situation where there is a huge team involved, then depending on one single machine is not a good idea. In that case, we will have to move this to a CICD pipeline, which is GitHub Actions. In the next video, we will show you how to do the exact same thing that we did here, but in a CI/CD pipeline, that is GitHub Actions. And then also understand how it is exactly same, but then done in a different environment, what kind of problems that we might face, and then how to resolve them. So stay tuned for the next video. Brings us to the end of this particular video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.